Life before Jesus was total chaos. I grew up in a home where my parents didn't know Christ. I went in the military, came out of the military with PTSD, and went on a destructive lifestyle for the next 20 years. And in the process of addictions and self-centeredness and prideful ways of trying to cope with the challenges that I had, I drug a lot of people down with me, including my wife. There were 3 men at the church we attended that discipled me, and if I was tempted to go in a wrong direction, one of them was there. I mean, physically there. He would pull up in front of my office and ask me to lunch, which would give me an automatic detour where my thoughts were, and just show me that Jesus was truly alive in my heart. It was just a dynamic that's unexplainable. I committed my life to Christ. Peggy recommitted her life. I actually retired when I was 55. I was a member of Red Hill Country Club and played a lot of golf, and it just wasn't satisfying. And I got a call one day from an old mentor in the car business. I was in the automobile business for 50 years. Called me, and he was turning his dealership over to his son and wanted to know if I would mentor him for 6 months. That 6 months ended up being 15 years. And in the midst of that, as the owner of the dealership allowed me to have Bible studies in our conference room, I led several of the senior leadership to Christ, and the doors were open. And as I look back on it now, that phone call that opened the door for me to be there was actually an opportunity that God had engineered for me to step into ministry. One young man in our group right now was invited to church by a friend who hadn't seen him in several years. This guy had hit bottom. He was an alcoholic. He was about 3 months sober, and he came to the men's group. We didn't know he wasn't saved. The second week was there, it became obvious, and we had the opportunity to lead him to Christ. About a year later, on a Thursday night, the baptismal had been set up for baptisms that coming Sunday. And we were able to use the baptism on Thursday night to baptize this young man. The men in the group actually baptized him. And I see in that a responsibility that I have. Not only did I have wonderful disciplers to hold my hand in the embroidered stages of my walk with the Lord, but also I've had men who've come alongside me and reinstilled hope. God is alive and well in my life by continuing to provide opportunities for me to be used of Him.